Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life that feels good because, after all, that's what we want. We want to feel good. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher. Today, my guest on our show is NormaJean Jessup. And if you've lived in the Greater Valley for any length of time, you've likely met her or seen her signs or at least know the name. NormaJean is a longtime real estate broker, current president of the East Wenatchee Rotary, and an all-around supporter of the communities that she lives in. She's a person of action, a real doer, and we're going to sit down and visit about real estate, Rotary, and contribution. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that if you have questions you would like me to answer on or off of the air, you can email those directly to me at fletcher@fletcherellingson.com. And if we use your question on the show, I'm going to send you a copy of my Amazon best-selling book called The Practice of Feeling Good. If you've been following this show and want to learn more about personal development, how to take on your life more powerfully, then grab a copy of my book. You can also visit me at my website, fletcherellingson.com. Now, before we get to our interview, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that there's a lot of uncertainty in our world. There are wars and protests and accusations, tariffs, inflation, shrinkflation, job cuts, division, lots of uncertainty. And that level of uncertainty can set people on edge and bring out behaviors that typically don't serve those around us very well. And so I want to take a moment to remind all of us that we can be part of the solution. I want you to know I'm not against you. I want for your well-being. I want you to have gainful employment. I want you to experience fulfilling relationships. I want you to feel safe and certain in your life. And the fastest and easiest way we can be part of the solution is to remind each other of this, that we're not against each other, we're for each other. The most powerful remedy to what's going on in the world is to be kind. And the way I define kindness is friendliness, generosity, consideration, and the willingness to offer assistance without the need for praise or acknowledgement. You see, kindness highlights people's strengths instead of reminding them of their weaknesses. It unites people instead of dividing people. It heals and fosters well-being instead of injuring. And it feels good to give it, to receive it, and certainly to be around it. Kindness is powerful. We're going to take a short commercial break, but then we're going to be right back to visit with NormaJean Jessup, so stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. So glad you're here. I'm so glad you're in this conversation. We are here this morning with NormaJean Jessup. Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate being here.
Yeah, great to have you on. And we always start off with a couple wins because, you know, we're practiced at noticing what's not going well in the world. That's easy. The challenging part is like getting practiced at noticing what is going well. So we always start off with some wins. So what are a couple of wins you've got for us today, NormaJean?
I guess a big one would be personal with my mother.
With your mother?
My mother had moved in with me 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. She's now 93. And she was bored, and my sister and I thought, we've got to get her to Idaho where they are. So we bought a place for her down there, and she is so happy.
Oh, right on.
At 93, moving, she still drives, and that made your heart just swell.
Yeah.
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 And she's never been out of Wenatchee Valley. She was born and raised here.
Oh, wow, that's a big deal then.
That was a big deal.
She lived her all her life and waited until she was 93 to relocate to another state.
To where my sisters are. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
That was a huge win for us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what else? What else you got for us?
Let's see. I just opening my office.
Yes, you opened your office, Berkshire Hathaway.
I opened Jessup Real Estate in about 2010, 2011. And then I joined the Berkshire Hathaway franchise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the win is that it's still here.
It's still here. We're still plugging along.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've downsized a little bit because we just had way too much space for people that are working out of their homes now.
Oh yeah, well that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? But you're still here, you're at it, and things are happening.
They are.
As long as I've known you, you've always made things happen, right?
Yeah, well, you
And-
get bored if you don't.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
We like to have progress.
Yeah.
And you had another win related to health, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, well, I had high blood pressure, wasn't paying attention to it like I should, and every time I go into somebody, well, your pressure's high, and I go, oh yeah, it's just getting to the doctor, makes it go high. And I wasn't paying attention, and then one night I woke up and this arm wouldn't move. And so I immediately called 911, and they came and got me, and luckily my arm movement was only 15 minutes that I had lost it.
And when you say you lost movement, you mean like you just...
I couldn't even move it.
You couldn't move it at all?
No, it
Wow.
did not move. Yeah, so it was just what they call it, TIA is what they call it. And so they...
And is that a mini stroke?
like a mini stroke, yeah. Yeah.
And that must have been quite alarming.
It was quite alarming. It scared me, and I told God, I says, I won't do this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And so then what? And then so you were out of commission for a while they helped you through that process.
Yeah, I couldn't go in for surgery until I think I had to be at least 3 days after. They couldn't do surgery on me. So I think on the 5th day they did surgery, and they went in and cleaned out this artery and sewed me back up.
Good. And what's your takeaway? Because you said you're like, I gotta let people know. What do you
I want
them to
everybody to know, don't screw around with your blood pressure like I did.
Yeah.
It's very important, and I'd been fooling around with it for several years.
And so pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do what you need to do to
Your
bring that
diet, your
down.
exercise, everything. Just pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great story. Like, you had this happen, and some people are not as fortunate and lucky, right?
Right.
But they were able to catch it in time.
I pulled right out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
very, very lucky.
And so what do you do now differently as far as like, how do you monitor that? So do you have a system at home where you can monitor that yourself, or do you?
Yeah, I take my pressure a couple times a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It still hasn't got down where it's supposed to be, but it's going down.
Yeah. And has it been decreasing? Okay, cool.
Yes, it has.
It's neat that you can actually do that at home. And I guess probably lots of people do that, but you just have to be diligent about doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people will track it. I just throw it on my phone.
Yeah.
So that I know.
Oh, good. Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about real estate.
Okay.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, like I was just mentioning in the introduction, and people are always wondering, like, gosh, is now the time to sell my house? Is now the time to buy a house? Is now the time to invest in a real estate rental property? Like, what's your take on that? Is there a golden opportunity?
To me, there's never a bad time.
There's
It
never a
depends
bad
on your
time.
personal situation, what your goal is, what you want to do. People talk about interest rates being high. Well, I've been at 37 years. They're kind of low compared to when I got into it.
Yeah, because when you got into it, what were the?
I think they were like in the 11s, 12s.
Yeah, I think I remember my mom when she bought one of her homes. I think it was like at 15%.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so 6 or 7, still a lot higher
It's
than
very good,
2.9.
though. We're probably won't see those again.
Yeah.
In my opinion, we're lucky where we're at. The prices are high here in this area, but there's zero down financing. There's a lot of avenues for people.
That's one of the things that I think people want to know and hear about, is that, because I think for a while, at least for these past 5 years or so, I think there's been this misunderstanding that you had to come in with 20% down.
No.
And that's not the case.
No, not at all.
Okay. There still are some good options.
There's
like
good options out there.
3% and
if you have good credit, and you can also go in with a co-borrower. Mom and dad, brother, sister wants to go in and help you out too. There's a way.
So there's some creative ways to make it happen still.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about for selling? I just asked you before we started filming, I said, like, how is the market moving? And your response was like, if you put your house up for sale, it's
gone.
It's going to go.
If it's under 500, 550, it's gone, and you might see multiple offers right now.
And that's the sweet spot, that 550,000.
Underneath that.
Underneath that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Got
Multiple offers. We're starting to see houses in the 300s right now that we haven't seen before for
Really?
a long time.
Wow.
You know, they're kind of fixers. But what opportunities for people to get into their first home.
Yeah. Yeah. I think back to some of my first and second homes, and they were definitely fixers, right?
Yeah.
But it provided an opportunity for me to learn a lot about fixing up, right? You know, all the things that are entailed in home ownership, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so some of those deals are still out there too.
We're starting to see more come around, so it's real interesting.
And you know, I think a lot of people sometimes, if they haven't purchased a home before, they might have some trepidation there. Like, do I work with an agent, or how does that work? Do I have to am I paying the agent up front, or speak to somebody who might be have some questions about that. What does it look like to work with you?
Well, I'm working in your best interest. If I'm your buyer's agent, then I'm having you sign a contract with me, and it's your best interest. I'm to protect you from anything that could go sideways, including your financing, inspections, all that. I'm there to protect you.
Yeah.
Okay. Typically, you're going to see the seller may offer compensation to me, so that you don't have to pay for it. But your contract does say that you will pay X amount that we negotiate with, but usually the seller is offering a compensation to have you look at their house.
Yeah, and you just kind of brought a spotlight to that last part of it because of what recently has happened in the marketplace, right?
Really scared people.
Yeah, because there's always the assumption that the commission is paid out of the proceeds from the sale, but recently there was some court cases, and so the wording is different now, but that still is happening, right? The proceeds are coming from the sale.
From the seller's side. From the seller's side, not the,
Yes.
It is. It's confusing for people, and muddled everything up. I mean, we never told the seller what they had to pay.
Yeah.
As compensation. We didn't do that around here. They just agreed to share the brokerage they were paying to my office with the buyer's agent.
Yes.
You know, now we can't put it that way. Their contract's separate than the buyer's contract.
Right, so the language is clearer on paper, but it's still business as usual.
It kind of, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. And it doesn't cost anything for somebody to just come in and have a conversation with you.
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
I mean, I imagine you would encourage that. Let's find out what their vision is, and if you can help them find something. Right.
Well, we'd have to, you have to sit down and visit with them so you can know what their price range is.
Yeah.
And you just kind of, we used to put them in the car, and when we were driving around in the car, we'd sort of pick their brain.
Yeah.
See where they're at, see what kind of home they wanted.
Yeah.
And then talk about their employment, etc.
Yeah. You get them all pre-qualified, and then you'll know what they can look at.
And we used to do that ourselves before we send them to the lender, and now everybody just sends them to the lender and lets the lender do it. I still pre-qualify myself.
Yeah.
Because I want to know.
And that's also a good thing for people to know too. Like when you go to the lender wants to lend you money, so they're going to also kind of be on your side and to work with you to put you in a position where you can do that. Obviously, they can't work miracles, but they're going to work with you. They are, and they're going to. If you've got some credit issues, they're going to walk you through that and tell you exactly what you need to do until you're ready. Yeah, nice, and that's a great thing to know. If you've never been to a lender and you do have some credit issues, there are ways to clean all that up. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Good information. They shouldn't be scared of going in and applying, talking to me, talking to the lender, because we're there to guide and help you. Yeah. Yeah. Good. All right. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about Rotary, what's going on there, and what it means to contribute. So stay with us. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Live It Up. We're here with NormaJean Jessup. And we were talking about real estate, but I want to shift gears because you're very active in our community, and you're currently the president of the East Wenatchee Rotary. Is that accurate? Correct. Yeah. So first of all, how long have you been in Rotary? Gosh, I started out probably
20-some years ago with the downtown Rotary group
wow.
here.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I moved to Hawaii for a little bit, and then when I came back, I rejoined the East Wenatchee Rotary.
I forgot you moved to Hawaii. That's right. I remember that. I remember because you left and then you came back. How long were you in Hawaii?
Just 2 years.
Oh wow! And which island?
I was on the Big Island, Hawaii.
Oh wow! How neat.
I was in Kona.
Oh wow! Well, I'm going to have all sorts of questions for you about that at another date. But you've been involved with Rotary, and Rotary. I love Rotary's motto: "Service above self." Right?
Yes.
So, what do you like about Rotary?
The friendships, the people I'm meeting. We get together to do community events to help others. But I just like going to the meetings. Well, when you came to our meeting, we had a good, fun group of people.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of enthusiasm and motivation going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I like that, yeah. The caliber of people at Rotary, I mean, these are people who are community minded. They're service minded.
Right.
So it is an interesting bunch. I mean, like people who are sharing of themselves financially, their time, and their talents. It's inspiring to see that, right? Because we don't see that every day.
No.
People are usually looking out for number one, right? Which is them. Rotary's like, hey, we're looking out for
the community and the world.
And
too.
the world, yeah, and the world. It's not just even here, because they have a global mission,
Yep.
right? And they've done some incredible things, like help eradicate polio in much of the world, which is phenomenal. That was one of their
big pushes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what's possible when you get a group of community, service-minded people together.
Right.
What are some of the things that are coming up for Rotary in our community?
Well, we help volunteer with Classy Chassis Parade.
The Classy that's the car show?
On Friday night before the big parade. So this year we're going to have one of my agents in my office, her and her husband are volunteering a flatbed truck. And we're going to ride in that, and he's going to drive us.
Nice.
So have a bunch of Rotarians on there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. That's the first time I think we've done that.
Oh, right on. And then that's just for like some marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, and just show people, hey, here we are, Rotarians.
Yeah, yeah.
And then those that aren't going to ride on it are going to be directing traffic there at the park.
Cool. Yeah, and so Rotarians do some of that, right? They volunteer at events like parades and things.
Right.
What other type of things?
Pike Minnow Derby is our big one.
What is that?
Pike Minnow Derby.
Pike Minnow Derby.
And that is Father's Day weekend every year, and that is the public going out and fishing, seeing how many of the pike minnows they can get. And they bring them in. That helps clean them out of the river.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't realize that.
We do that every year.
Oh, nice. And then when I was at your meeting a month or two ago, you all are always doing a little bit of fundraising, right? There's always like these fun finds, or and where does that money go to?
That money, we have one goes to the Polio Foundation. Some of that goes to that. Some of it will go to our. We'll put on some events, Christmas parties, that type of thing, and we just have different pots for different things that we do, that we put it into. We do scholarships at for the high school,
which is very important, right?
And we don't have enough people applying right now either.
Oh, for the scholarships?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
That's Eastmont High School.
Okay. All right. If you have a student, a senior at Eastmont High School, have them apply. There's a Rotary scholarship available.
It's waiting.
Yeah. It's free. It's money there for somebody, right?
Yeah.
Rotarians do a lot of good, and why is contribution important to you?
Because it makes me feel good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When we give of ourselves, it feels good, and that doesn't mean it's selfish. It just is it's a result. When we give of ourselves, it feels good, and when you have that good feeling, it's like I want more of that good feeling, so I'll give some more.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, think about it. When you go to the grocery store and you get somebody to smile that you don't know, which may not have smiled if you hadn't smiled at them and said hi.
Yeah.
it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it does, right?
Yeah.
And I have personally been in a situation in life several times where I needed some assistance. I was so happy to be the recipient of that contribution.
Yeah.
You know, it made a difference for my life, or maybe it made a difference for me in that day. And then so to join Rotary is the opportunity to surround yourself with that kind of mindset, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So if somebody's listening to this and they're like, well, I've thought about Rotary, didn't really know much about it, but and if they want to learn more, how do they do that?
Just they can go online to rotary.org. And it'll tell you anything you want to know about Rotary, or just come visit one of the 4 clubs in the valley.
Yeah, so there's Wenatchee, East Wenatchee. What are the other ones?
Wenatchee's got 3 clubs.
Oh, 3 clubs in Wenatchee.
Yeah, and then East Wenatchee and Cashmere and Leavenworth and Chelan all have clubs also.
Got it.
Yeah.
And they meet. It's a weekly.
They're all
thing.
different, and it's all weekly.
Okay.
Here, yeah. And ours is every Thursday at noon at Bob's Burgers in East Wenatchee, and guests are always welcome.
Okay.
And I'll pay for your lunch if you come.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
You got a free lunch,
Yeah.
and you're going to meet some neat people.
Yes.
And you're going to learn something.
Yeah.
And people can literally just show up.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if they want to, talk to somebody like you, or how do they get in touch with you?
To me, they can just go Norma at NormaJesup.com.
Okay.
It's just easy.
Norma at NormaJesup.com. All right, reach out if you want to find out more about Rotary, or if you want to find out more about real estate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So what are you excited about for this upcoming spring or summer? Do you have any plans outside of work, or anything exciting happening at work?
Well, we're doing a shredding event Saturday.
With Rotary?
No, with my office.
Just
it's
your
a
office?
community service that I do every year, and I have a shredding truck come in from 9 to 12, and it's a free service. If you got boxes of documents, bring them.
Okay.
I've never filled a truck yet.
Is that right? All right, so any of those old documents you've got in the garage or in the basement that I'll get to these someday,
Yeah.
this is the opportunity.
bring 'em.
And you just bring them and then they just toss them in the shredder.
They're good. Yeah, what they do is they toss them in big bins, boxes. You take your boxes with you. The stuff goes in the big bins. And this year we are also going to, every year we try to do, have a little box for a donation for something. Last year was Common Ground, the year before was something else. This year, I don't know the name of the family that had their house burned down out in Malaga. So we're getting some literature out there and putting it on social media. I guess they've got a 4-month-old baby and they lost everything. So we're going to be accepting donations for them. Clothing, etc., household goods.
Okay.
So
get your stuff shredded and make a donation, make a
at the
difference
same
for
time.
somebody.
Yes.
NormaJean, thanks for being a source of kindness and contribution in our community. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now it's time for you to get out there. Yes, be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. You do have something to offer this world, and I believe in you.